Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday evening, another fun evening where we get together and can't even talk tonight, unlock some wonderful paper crafting fun. We have a lot of fun as we get together here, and I have a really neat project for you tonight. At the least I think it is, and I think you might like it too. My name is Lillian. I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada, and I know that there are people watching here from all over the world. I'm so excited to see my YouTube channel growing and my Facebook group growing. So wherever you're watching from, whether it's YouTube, if you hit that subscribe button, and if you hit that little bell, you'll get notifications when there's a new video uploaded. And if you're watching on Facebook, remember to hit that like button, that thumbs up, and leave a comment. Just even say hi, no matter where you're watching from. If you leave a comment, then I know I'm not alone in this computer world here. As we're saying hi and everybody's hopping on board, I'm going to go down to my desk, but I have a question for you. On Saturday, Harry and I discovered a new bakery in Stony Plain, which is near to us. And it's a German bakery, and we got a little carried away in it. And let's just say we splurged and stuffed ourselves. So if you go into a bakery, I try to avoid going into a bakery because I do have a hard time saying no. But if you go into a bakery, what is one thing that you are most likely to order? So for my husband, it is cinnamon rolls, which were just coming out of the oven. We had to wait for them to put them in the container. They were warm, so needless to say, we got those and ate those in the car. For me, it's likely a Danish. So, Judy, you're wondering where the bakery is? It's kind of in an out-of-the-way place. If you know where the Camping and Class campground is, it's just south of it. So it's called the Pretzel German Bakery or something like that. So it's worth checking out. The stuff is pretty delicious in there. So tell me what it is that you would like to order if you went into a bakery. And of course, no calories, right? If we're supporting a local business, certainly no calories involved. That's what we told ourselves anyway. It was very good. So I'm just hopping on. I'm going to now just mention the weekly deals. So each Thursday in September, Stampin' Up! Is releasing weekly deals. So these are available right now. But I want to give you a heads up. Because they also release them in the Australian market when it's Thursday in Australia, if you go to my website on Wednesday, particularly Wednesday evening, you will be able to order both this week's and next week's weekly deals. You can choose from both. And that only happens on Wednesday, and it's because of what's happening in Australia. So you might want to check it out. Check my website out on Wednesday. I have no idea what's going to be on each week's weekly deals. I'm just like you. I go to check it out. Well, here's my website here too. So go check it out. There's really good ones right now, like the masking paper I've been sharing. These are really neat. The pearlized enamel effects. So they're colored when they dry. They're hard. It's like making your own embellishments. Some gorgeous ribbons. We've played with this film. Can't go wrong with black and white. So all kinds of wonderful things there. And also, just a heads up, Stamping Staycation is happening this coming Saturday. Yes, this coming Saturday is the 24th of September. Can you believe it? So you need to register by Thursday noon. And you might say, well, I'm busy part of the day. You know what? It doesn't matter because it's all online. So you can pick and choose when you want to do it. You can even watch it a year from now, though. I hope you do it a little sooner than that. But there are tip videos that are bonus. There are all kinds of, each of us, Marilyn, Joanna, and I each do 2 different projects. What do you need to buy? Nothing. You're going to use your own stash of things. So we'll show you how, we'll show you some new ideas, at least new to us. And if they're not new to you, they might be a little reminder. So just a heads up that time is running out. I will put the link in the description of this video afterwards, but this is where you go to find out about it and register. So that's all at the same spot. So here I'm going to talk again about the Perfect Partners promotion because I'm going to use one of them tonight. Now the Perfect Partners has taken stamp sets. So for example, this stamp set, Apple Harvest, is in the annual catalog. In September, they brought out this die, but the die is only available in September. So if you have this stamp set, or if it's on your wish list, so if you have the stamp set, you can buy the dies. If it's on your wish list, get the bundle and you're in business. So also another one is the fresh cut flowers. And I've mentioned these before, but I just want to really mention them again. And then there's this pig one here, Playful Piggy Dies, that goes with the this birthday piggy. And there's Trimming the Tree and the dies. And then there's this waterfall one. Look at all the dies. I know I've used this before, but I've got something special to show you. So here is Yeti to the party, and then all of these dies. So if you don't have it, you can get the bundle and save 10%. Or you can order, if you have this already, you can get this. So let me just share. So in my stamp club is called Stamping Time. We made these dancing gnomes. So it's hard to show because to show it in the camera, I have to have it flat. But look at how his feet go side by side. And it's a neat, fun fold card, just like that. So I also showed them, so we made the matching envelope too. I also showed them how to make the Yeti dance. And so I thought, you know what? I'd love to share that with you tonight. And the way we make the Yeti dance is the same way that you make the gnome dance. So if you've got the gnome, you can do the same thing. And you can be thinking about what else you want to make a dance. So this was a huge hit. Judy's saying, love that card. She was at my stamp club, Stamping Time, and she was one of the ones that rather liked it. So let's make this card. I'm just going to show you this. Look at how the fold goes like that. And guess what card I based this fold on? This is one I had made a while ago. Can you believe that that is basically, now you can't see that there's a black ridge around there. The same card is the same fold, but look at how different it is. So once you get a design that you like, mix it up, change it around. Look at this. It's the same fold, just like that. So just a little heads up. And while I've still got the gnome card out, I do have to show you. You can change the gnome's hat to the stars. And guess what? You've got maybe something that would work for Halloween. So just, again, change things up and see what you get. So the Yeti is on page 38. Just right there. And then the dies are a zillion dies. Well, maybe not a zillion. There are, how many dies in here? I always write it down. 18 dies. Can you believe that? 18 dies. So you can see that there's a scarf. Well, I'll bring in my cheat sheet here. So some match the stamps and some are standalone. This is standalone. This actually matches here and makes a little cut there. These here, they are toppings for the mountains if you want. The scarf is a standalone one, and the rest are all cutting out shapes that are there. So just imagine, can you imagine maybe the penguin having an ice cream cone or a cup of hot chocolate? Or maybe you have another little critter in your arsenal of stamps, and you might be able to use some of these dies with that. So I think these dies can be used with way more than the Yeti. So just giving you the heads up, they're only available in September. Can you believe it? I can't. Now let's move this out of the way and get down to business. Now remember, if you are worried about measurements, the measurements are always now in my Thursday newsletter. So as long as you're subscribed to my newsletter, you'll be good to go to get it. Now this one here, I used this designer paper. Tonight I am going to use this designer paper. When I made this one, I used this designer paper. When I did this one, I used that designer paper. And guess what? It's all from the same package of designer paper. The package is called Celebrate Everything. So here's the front and back. And you really can celebrate everything with this paper. So there's everything in there. It's in the hostess section. So it's a mega pack and it is super. So let's move on. Move our Yeti to the side and we'll start with our card base. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Just that. That's all. It's what we're going to mount everything else on. Then we have our designer paper. It's 5 1/4 by 8 1/2. So yes, you can do this with cardstock, and you're going to score it at 4 6 3/4. So let me just show you that. So it's scored at 4 and then 6 3 3/4. So it's going to be a Z like that. And then when you're finished your folding, it is actually going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to sit on your card base just like our usual layers do. Then you're going to have a piece of thick basic white that's 2 3/4 by 5. The thick gives it just a little more stability because it is hanging over the edge and we are embossing it. So that's why I used the thick. And then I also cut a piece that was 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 for the inside. And then I've got some scraps. So let's get started. Let's look at this first. So this is the 2 3/4 by 5 inch thick piece. And I've already embossed it just to save a little bit of time. So I used one of the embossing folders from the Charming Landscapes. So the Charming Landscapes has the mountains and the village. And these are the narrow ones, so they fit in the mini cut and emboss. So just as a reminder, this is what they look like when they're embossed. So they are really, really neat. So I chose to use the mountains. I thought that worked with the Yeti. So we've got that. So now this is decision time. If I bring in this black base and I've got my folds here and I'm putting this on here, this is going to be framed so that there's just a little bit of a border around. So now this is where I need to make a decision. So you guys help me decide, and then while you're typing the answer in, I'll do a little bit of stamping. So should we do it with the pink as the next layer? And then when you open it up, it's going to look like this on the inside. Or should we reverse fold it and have, I'm going to call this the black. You know what I mean by it. It's more than black. Should it be that way? So should we do it this way or the other way? So we'll call this way black and the other way pink. Do you need to have another look at the pink one? Here it is, right here. So like that. So while you're typing that in, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping here. I'm just going to put some words down here. Oh, and it is a photopolymer, so I'm going to bring in a spongy surface to put underneath. You could, if you don't have a spongy surface, you can bring in a couple of magazines or an old mouse pad or something like that. And if you're typing it in and you can't make up your mind, just say, can't make up my mind or whatever. So I'm going to keep my words down a little bit low so I have room for my Yeti. So I'm going to just use winter wishes. So it doesn't have to be Christmas. I think this might be, that wasn't my best stamping job, but it's not bad. I know that Judy is watching here, and if she was here, she would be able to touch it up beautifully with the marker there. That helps it out a little bit. So there we go. Like that. I just forgot to get this set up so that I can see what your comments. I'm seeing pink, 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 black, pink. So far I'm seeing mostly pink, so we'll go with that. So let's build our card, and then we'll build the dancing Yeti. So bone folder, we want nice crisp folds. I took my paper away, it's hard to see, isn't it? And then we're going to go back like this. And we'll bring in our card base. We're just going to put adhesive on here. The mountains from the Yeti, they look really good with that puffed paint. It's so much fun to put that on, the mountain peaks. And now we're just going to center this like we would with doing normal layers on a card, like that. So we've got it like that. Now I'm going to put this on, and I want to put it here, and I don't want to glue it closed. So I was sharing with the ladies in my stamp club what I do. So here's the side that's going to go on here. So I'm going to flip it over and put my dimensionals on this side here, just like that. And then I'm going to put dimensionals just before the fold. So it doesn't have to be tons. So this way, when I come back, I know that I'm not going to have dimensionals where I don't want them. So let's peel those backings off. Just like that. And while we're making this, and we're talking about the dancing Yeti and the dancing gnome, you can think of other ideas that you would use this on. Somebody mentioned maybe some plants hanging down or something. I don't know. But take a look at your stamps and see what you would do, use it for. So, okay, now we've got our basic card made. When you look at it like this, it looks like it's just a layered card. But when you open it up, you're like this. And this piece is going to tuck right in here. And yeah, we'll put it in right now. Why don't we? So if I'm going to stamp on it, I don't usually tuck it in. I usually stamp first. But if I remember correctly, and my memory is not the best, I don't think I'm going to stamp in here. There. Let's make it straight. Yay for liquid glue. There we go. So we've got our card made. That's how easy it is. We'll put that to the side. Now it's time to do our Yeti. So I'm going to bring my foam back in, and I'm going to bring a scrap piece of paper in and stamp the Yeti. So we'll ink this up with black ink. Just like that. Remember, especially when it's photopolymer, give the ink time to transfer. And there we go. Ooh, we've got it. And then we will bring in the die, which I put somewhere else. And we'll run it through the die cutting machine like that. But I want that little slit. So when I first saw this die, I thought, what is this? But just watch, when you put it here, just like that, and now I would tape that with washi tape, get everything lined up, and run that through the die cutting machine. And then, because I was actually organized today. I've already done that. In fact, I stamped 2 Yetis because I am going to need 2. And so this one here is going to go to the side. This one I want the Yeti to have a little more definition. So I'm going to bring in the light Pool Party blends. That's just the color I'm choosing. You can choose whatever. And I'm just going to go around the edges of the Yeti. And I know it looks pretty sloppy and messy right now, but it's amazing how much this works. So it's going to dry lighter, and I'm also going to help it lighten up a little bit by bringing in the color lifter and just kind of swirling over it like that. And again, you've watched me do this before, but it is very forgiving. It's going to lighten up and just give him that little bit of extra definition. And then, oh, I don't know, maybe we should give him a pink tongue. What do you think? I think I'll bring in some Melon Mambo and give him a pink tongue. Or I should have used polished pink. I'm using polished pink later. And then I think his horns could be shiny, so I'll bring Wink of Stella in. And, oh, I better stop. I'm getting carried away. Now, why do I have a second one, and why have I already gone like that? I've got the second one because this is going to be the extra feet. So I'm just lopping them off like that, and then I'm going to angle in the part that's going to hang down. Now I am going to lop this off too. Now why did I do 2? Why couldn't I use these feet? I don't have enough here. Do you see how much longer the body is here than here? So we've got it like that. Oh, I forgot to do something here. Where is that? I meant to cut it off right there. So bear with me. We're going to cut out that one that we had ready. I made a mistake, but we can fix it. So let's put the Yeti on here, and we'll, nice to have a little standby here, right? One in reserve. So now we're going to cut that out. Oops, that moved on me. This washi tape's been used so many times that it's losing its stickiness. And of course I'm rushing. Okay, remove this washi tape, stick it back down. And stay put. Do you ever talk to your machines and your tools? I do quite often. There we go. So we'll get this out of the way. I cut it off a little bit too high. So we will try not to lose that. And we'll just repeat that process that we just did. I'll really swish and swish it around. There we go. And we'll add this. Oh, Bonnie, I know they can't talk back. Isn't that wonderful? Sometimes it feels like they do when they don't cooperate, but you're right. So just backing up a little bit. We want to cut the legs off right here, right where they join the body. And before we do that, we're going to bring in a black marker and see how it's just kind of wiggly. We're just going to go like that. Very freehand. Not my forte as a rule, but it's good enough. And then cut those off. With the gnomes, you're using a punch, and it works perfectly. If you're using the witch's feet, you're going to cut them out. So it's all good. So now we have this, and yeah, there we go. So now we have our two pieces. So how are we going to make them dance? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a piece of cardstock. For me, I chose to bring in a piece that's 3 1/4 by 1 1/2. And we need to make a hole in it that is kind of circular. So one of the things we did when we were making the gnome card, and I brought in the idea, was you could take the die for the nose, and it's sort of circular, and you could put it right there, and you would end up with a piece that has an opening like this. So the goal is to have something that's not got corners so that it can swing and that can fit over a dimensional. So this will fit over a mini dimensional. You see, it can still swing over a mini dimensional. So that's with that. Now, some of you might have a 1/2 inch punch in your retired supplies, which is where I found this, or you might have some dies somewhere or punches somewhere that makes something that's going to work. So the 1/2 inch punch works like this, comes like that, and it will work perfectly around a regular dimensional. You see how it can still twist and turn and not catch. So I'm going to use this tonight, but feel free to go through your supplies and find something that works. Just we'll put this to the side, and then all we're going to do is glue the feet to the bottom. So I tend to cut off the top corners so that there's less chance of them catching. So just like that. And so we've got a shape like that. Now I want to show you something in the catalog that would save you a lot of time if you had it. But I don't have it, so that's why I'm showing you the alternative way. Of course, I just buried my catalog. So back here, you see these dies, this bundle here. Do you see that die right there? Let's turn over the page. Here it is right here. It's hard to see, but it's if you took that die and you cut down from here and cut from here, and then you could just cut it in half, you would have these already made for you. So that's another option. If you have that die, you're in business. Just cut it and then cut it in half, and you have two. All right, so let's put that to the side and let's start building. So we have to put our feet on here. There we go. Just a little bit of glue because we're just gluing it to the bottom. Like that. Now, I've somehow ended up with an extra pair of legs. But anyway, that's okay. Let's bring our card in. And we want the feet to be above the words, obviously. So we want the feet to be about there. And we're just do a practice run. And we want the Yeti to be, about there. So I think I want him over a little bit. So once I have figured out where to put him, I'm going to bring in my dimensional and just put it in the hole. Now, before we do anything else, if I'm putting anything in the Yeti's arm, I want to do it now. So remember I said there were dies for all kinds of things. So I did some ahead of time. So in his arm, I'm going to use the little snowflake. Here it is here. And then afterwards, you can help me figure out what's going to happen with the rest. But the little snowflake just rests nicely there. I forgot to do his mouth, didn't I? So let's just do his tongue before we glue a snowflake in there. And the reason that I'm doing the snowflake now is because once he's fastened on the card, it's hard to push this in. And, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I will explain that I want to say it's not going to bind, but you're not going to know what that means. So just hang on. There we go. So now I am ready to put the top of the Yeti on the card. So I want to make sure he's about there. Now I am going to look. I don't want to bind this. I want there to be lots of freedom around here. So I am not going to put dimensionals here and here. If I did, he wouldn't be able to, he'd be doing just a very slow waltz, stand in place one. So if we do this, where can I put it that it's not going to, I can put, I'm going to put a mini right at the top. Well, that got a little too close to the top. And I can put a dimensional, oh, mini's good. I can put a dimensional underneath his hand, right there. And you know what? I don't think he needs anything else because this is going to work as well. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is take the dimensional backings off. So these two and this one. Now, if you want it, you could double your dimensionals up here and do two. If you did that, you would need to double here as well. But I'm finding one's working okay. So now let's see. We'll pull this down a bit like that. Pop it into place. And we have a dancing Yeti, just like that. Isn't that fun? Now he needs a few more things. So if you find that maybe you might have to trim a little bit off the edge, but basically I can't wait for the grandkids to get this in the mail. So there we go. We've got that. So now he needs some things in his hand. So in this one, I used parcels, but I thought it might be kind of fun to do something different. And we forgot to give him a scarf. And I asked that question on my Facebook page today. So we've got all different kinds of scarves here. What color of scarf should he, she, whatever, have? All of these colors are found in the paper. So what color scarf? What color scarf should we give him? So let's see. I'm not sure yet. What color scarf? Red, pink. We're on a pink kick tonight, aren't we? I guess the pink kind of picks up on that. Let's just see here. I shouldn't have glued that snowflake down. Note to self, do the scarf before the snowflake. So we've got the pink. Somebody suggested the red. There's red here. All of these colors will work. So we've got the red. We've got the bright green that goes with this here. So let's decide what kind of coffee to have. So should we have Pacific Point coffee? Or should we have the pink coffee? Or should we have the red coffee or hot chocolate? What do you think? And while you're doing that, I am going to put a snowflake just behind the hot chocolate, just to add that little bit. Pink coffee. Okay, well, it's the first one I saw, so we'll use pink coffee, which might affect how you think about the scarf. Just like that. And there we go. And we had sort of said the pink scarf. Should we go like that? Ah, that looks good to me. What do you guys think? I'm going to give it a whirl. When you make your own, you can make it the way you want it. But definitely could switch it up. So this one will have to be for my granddaughter. There we go. I should push that down a little bit more. There we go. So just like that. Now you could bring in your Wink of Stella and touch these snowflakes up. There's just a few here, or even the tops of the mountains. But basically, you've got your card made. Let me get some of these things out of the way. What could we do with the inside? Well, we've got all these. That would look pretty good on the inside, wouldn't it? Since we're doing the pink, I'm just going to make that decision right now. And we will go with it like that. And then I think we could add, a few embellishments. When all else fails, reach for the rhinestones, right? Iridescent rhinestones would look good too, but I've got them in another kit right now, and I don't think I can reach them very handily. So let's see, where can we put some rhinestones? We can put a rhinestone right there. And maybe that's enough. I don't know. Never have too many rhinestones. We do not want anything in the way of the feet. So that's the one thing you do have to watch for when you're making this card. Oh, we'll put one there. And I don't know. We'll put one here. There you go. So there it is. There is our dancing Yeti. And now that you're thinking about it, what other stamps or dies could you do this with? So there's the witch's hat and feet. The witch's feet, that's a bundle. We've got the gnome. And we've got the Yeti. What else could you use this idea on, that where things are dancing? I just love the idea. And it's really what happened with my stamp club, with Stampin' Time on the other night, is when I demonstrated, they went, they were a little nervous when they made it. And some of you were on here tonight. I heard several of them say, well, that was kind of easy. So just let me know what you think. What are some ideas? And speaking of Stamping Time, I just have to share a couple of things. One of Judy, actually, who's on here tonight. Oh, the hippo. Good idea. Made this cute pumpkin so that we could put at the dinner table. So this, isn't that cute? I believe that she used the apple punch. Judy, do you want to tell us? You can also do this with a circle punch or an oval punch if you have some. So another cute thing. Some of the other things we made at Stampin' Time, we made this card right here, and they discovered, you know, you just can't beat being able to touch things, how soft and usable this thick ribbon is. So yes, she said the apple punch. Then we did an emboss resist technique. So we stamped in clear embossing powder and sponged over top and added these cute little, and some more trinkets, and added some more wonderful ribbons. So we did that. And then remember, while we were on the Yeti, some of the Yeti cards we've made in the past, we made the Monster Yeti one. And then I showed you this one here. And again, this was using all of the different pieces. And this is that snowflake vellum paper. It looks so good on here. So here's the Yeti wearing fresh freesia. So that is my card tonight. I hope you will try this idea, that you find something in your stash that you can try this with. It's so much fun, and it's so much fun to give too. You just feel like playing with it all the time. So remember, Stamping Staycation is this weekend. So registration closes on Thursday. So I hope that you are registered for that. You're not going to want to miss out. And thanks for joining me tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.